when I've been in WSI for many years, and we haven't crossed paths, but I mean, I've done a lot of training and I've done a lot of travel, on behalf of the franchise, and met so many people, been to just about every conference. I think I just missed one in 18 years. And there have been so many highlights, that I can just remember. I mean, the memories and just meeting people. And unfortunately, you haven't experienced any of the conferences yet and things like that because of the pandemic. But have you felt anything good happening? Any highlights while you've been in the 6 months with WSI?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, it's more the experience you see with people. And I think the highlights now, I mean, your highlights are way up here, mine are my little ripples at the bottom.
Yeah.
But what I find is that like I said earlier, was the experience of, the excitement some people come with their product.
Right.
And how do you get them talking about it?
Yes.
And I think that's really right now for me is a highlight, especially when some things, if you look on a face value, seem very mundane. To be honest with you, when you look at it going, why would anybody want to buy that? But then you hear the person talking about it, and they start telling you what their business plan is, and they start telling you what they want to do, and then it starts clicking.
Sure.
Right? So that's right now what I see as highlights, especially when you get one of those wins and they're really really excited about what you're doing, and actually it starts to see them have some conversions that way.
Excellent. As well. And have you faced any obstacles in your business right now? Because when I started, lead generation was something, that you have to work hard on, but it was difficult keeping the money going, and I only realized after a couple of months that I had to focus on recurring revenue, and whatever I sold needed to be an ongoing service, so that I didn't have to, wake up every day and worry about selling a website in those days, because there wasn't much else. It's 18 years ago. We didn't have Facebook and Google and stuff like that yet. So have you felt that you've had any obstacles that, in the business that have, hampered you in any way, and maybe how you overcame them?
So maybe time management be my biggest sort of struggle. And that's like because you're still hungry and you want as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then some people demand much more of your time than other people.
Yeah.
And they maybe don't deserve, I shouldn't say it, all customers deserve the time, but some take more of your time.
Right.
So that's definitely one of my biggest hurdles to deal with now. And I guess really getting to a point of, it's not sustainability. I think I'm definitely going to be sustainable relatively quickly, but knowing that you're not like waking up every morning saying, I got to find 4 more customers, I got to find another customer.
Right.
Becomes, like you said, that recurring thing. So that's been good. But I guess then again, the part of the question is trying to explain to people some of the products you're selling and how it benefits them and what it means, and the time it takes to actually have those things become to fruition. Everybody thinks the internet is somehow an instantaneous sort of cash grab. Right? So I'll run a Google ad campaign and instantly they're going to get 20 leads. It's like, I can get people to your storefront, but if you have the door locked, you're not going to get any customers.
Right.
That's some of the struggles. I guess the struggles are just little hurdles to get over, right? So get over one, move another one. There's always another hurdle to get over.
Michael, are you the only one in your business at the moment, or are you working with your wife, or?
No, I'm a sole proprietor.
Sole proprietor, okay. So the question I was going to ask is like, the skills that you bring, to the business. Obviously, one man, you've got to have to bring some, multiple of skills to keep it all together, running a business. At least I can pull in other people, because I don't like finances and I don't like a few other things. I try and pull that in, but I think you've got to bite the bullet and get it done. Yeah.
So it does then that becomes a struggle. That's why it'd be nice to get to a certain size where you can start to bring people in to say, you're dealing with this or different projects, right?
Yeah.
And for sure. There's some things that I do like, and some things that I don't say I dislike, but I tend to not want to do them because they don't seem as nice or as flashy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
As you said, the finances piece, I like the finances when they come in. It's just making sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. It can come a bit not the most pleasurable aspect of the job.
Exactly. And looking ahead, obviously you would have put a bit of a plan together and being you're on Neil Lappy's training, the Quick Start program. Obviously, you've driven and helped with that. So what does it look like for you? Your 12 months out, where you feel it's working, and the next question was like 5 years time, but I think that's still early. So how do you see yourself, migrating? What do you want at the end of the day out of this?
Well, at the end of the day, I have a couple different sort of streams in that piece. Obviously, I want to get to a certain income level. Basically, I think about 20 clients would be optimal for one person right now. Yeah. And basically, if I get to that point at the clients that I'm actually bringing in now, which I would say are, I think Jack mentioned it. He has 3 different levels. He has minnows, fish, and then whales or something like that. Okay. He has his thing. So I have a lot of minnows now. Wow. So if I have 20 minnows, I think I'll be sustainable. Now I do want to get the bigger ones. Once I start to claim some of those or get to that point, I will need to bring some people on to help me out. Yeah. So definitely want to grow the business. I want to expand into different regions that are maybe serviced by WSI, which is where I am now in just sort of East Coast of Canada. But I want to grow the business. And other thing too is where I want to see it is like 2 to 3 years. The other piece of getting into it, which I didn't mention earlier, was looking at the future and looking at what businesses or what work that's available for my kids when they get to the point and want to enter the workforce. It's like I have no idea what the workforce is going to look like in 5 years, 10 years, right? So when they start to really get into it, what is there available? So if I'm generating and creating an agency, which has some technical aspect of it, then potentially there's some opportunity for them to move into there too. Yeah. So I was looking at trying to maybe develop it that way. Yeah. So got lots of little plans, trying to create some sustainability and try to become a little bigger entity with a few, maybe a whale or two, maybe a few fishes, and also keep the minnows, but trying to get to a point where it's definitely a sustainable business in, I say, 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, we started with many, many small clients and hundreds because that was all I could shoot in those days, and as you got braver and things, worked out a bit better, it went that way. And pretty much even with my business, my daughter's in the business right from day one, so she's been in it for 18 years, and we're hoping that she's going to continue with the business. So the grandchildren have been brought up in the business. They know how to give a presentation, run Zoom meetings. They do all of that. Maybe they'll be in the business one day. I don't know, but it can work. I think the challenge is letting go. Letting somebody else take over. I think in a family, that's always that's an interesting one when you get to it. I've been trying to let go for 10 years, and it's just difficult. But once you can get it done, then it's okay. And then the goal is achieved, right? So I think for the long term. So
well, that plan, part of the plan was too is like, do you want to retire? So I said, why? I mean, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, why would I want to retire? Yeah. If I can keep doing something. And, it gets dark when you start talking about when do you want to retire? Well, retire is when they're throwing something on top of me, which not that I want to work to that point, but I mean at the same time it's work. People define work as a negative thing. But if you're enjoying what you're doing, you need to have something that basically engages your mind.
That's it. Yeah.
So, and if this engages me and keeps me going and keeps me talking to people, then that's all good. It's like a country club on the web, and you're doing something for someone.
Yeah, as I'm getting older, I'm planning to do more of the back work, right? So, because right now I do all the marketing and the sales, but I can do copywriting pretty good because we've designed and we do a lot of copy writing in our business. I mean, I'm pretty good at SEO and stuff. So there are many other things that I guess when you want to sit back and maybe work 1 or 2 days a week, as long as the business is running, somebody else is managing it, right? You just take a more of a back seat. So, but at this stage, it's getting busier and busier, which is amazing, and it just keeps you going. I mean, you just don't feel old and tired. You actually feel, rejuvenated by learning new things and doing stuff, which I find very rewarding. So, you've been in here for 6 months. If somebody was going to join another WSI consultant, what advice would you give them, with what you've seen in your 6 months?
Wow, that's a very loaded one, right? But so I think if somebody's very serious about it, looking at it, it's one of those things where, regardless of where your background is, just a part of this, there's a hummingbird just slowly zipping by my window here.
Beautiful.
I must look like something he wants to bite or something. Sorry, it's really distracting. So back to the advice for people that are entering the thing. So if they're very serious about it, doesn't matter what the background is. You really, if you're going to engage in it, you have to really humble yourself to a degree. You got to listen to the advice, because you can go in thinking you know how to do something, and 9 times out of 10 you don't. And that's a good experience to have in sort of the training and some of the experiences you have, because if you take that approach that you say, you know what, I'm going to take the criticism, I'm going to evolve them, and I'm going to learn from them, then you can only get stronger from that, and you can only learn more. Just too many times in the culture that I came from, where people were so caught up in their self promotion that they didn't realize they didn't know much of what they were talking about. They were just very much Dunning-Kruger effect. The more they talked, they talked about how much they knew, the more everybody realized how much they didn't. But the thing is to make sure you have the understanding that you know more than you think you do, but you have so much more to learn. Right? So you got to really humble yourself.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Yeah, well, we're near the end of our interview, and I've got like 3 feel-good questions to ask you. So have you got a motto that you would work to, or you believe in, that you would share with somebody?
Well, I'm a big Lego fan. Okay. So, and I've read it several places all over the place, and it's like I keep buying my kids these 5,000 piece Lego sets. And they get all frustrated and said, everything is brick by brick. So you don't start with the picture of everything done and completed and fantastic. Everything takes one little brick to build. So that's the motto, is brick by brick.
Right.
So everything one piece at a time.
That's really great. I mean, certainly in this business too, as you were saying, you can think you know a lot, but, you can take it one step at a time to get through. It's a lifelong education that would go about.
And if somebody says they know it all, it's like, ooh, danger zone. The red lights should start flashing.
So you're on holiday. So if you went to happy hour now, what would you be ordering?
Oh, well, there's one of 2 things. Depends on who I'm with. Well, yeah, I say happy hour. So a happy hour would be craft beer, a local craft beer if I could get one. And if I couldn't get a local craft beer, it would be a dark beer. So unfortunately, I'm not a wine person. My wife likes wine. I just never got into wine. But then if I had to get something other than beer, then basically I get a Manhattan, which I'm starting to, in memory of an old boss I had who was really an excellent person, just an excellent all-around guy. So that's what I have. A happy hour.
Yeah. So you don't like the wine, but you like the wine gums, right?
Oh, yes. Maybe it's my body says wine on it. Stay away from it for now, because you might like it too much.
Right. And you've given us like 30 minutes of your time, and I really appreciate it. And if you could be anywhere else other than talking to me right at this minute, what would you want to be doing?
Oh, there's so many things you'd like to be doing. So I am sort of on vacation.
Right.
But this way, back that way, there's I'm on the ocean, so there's water that way.
Beautiful.
So sailing would be one thing, and the other thing would be going that way, which would be biking. So which I'm going to do this weekend.
Wow.
And it just being out and doing something. And actually, if you wanted the place to be at one time, be like early morning, about 6 a.m. on a nice warm August, maybe not warm, cool August morning, sitting on the patio overlooking the Northumberland Strait. That's sort of the ideal situation. Nobody around you, right?
That sounds wonderful. Normally I'm also enjoying it. Like today, I was lucky. I'm very fortunate. We went for a walk on the beach at midday, climbed a little bit of a mountain hill with the kids, took photos from there. So, I'm I'm sort of living the dream, I guess, right now. I'm not sitting in a concrete jungle wishing I could get away, and I think that's what's pretty cool about as you're growing in your own business and it's digital. I think it can help you do that.
Yeah. I've got to work on where I am now. I got to work on getting a better cellular reception, though, because apparently 100 meters up the road, I can get my cell phone to work, but right where I am in the house,
no,
nothing.
Okay. Well, Micheal, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, and it was very enjoyable talking to you. So thanks a lot, and I'm sure viewers who watch this interview and anyone interested, obviously in becoming a digital marketer, will get a lot more ideas about how people look at it. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Hey, no problem. Do what I can do to help.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, and I'll hope to see you at one of our conferences live, hopefully not virtual. So one day when it all opens up again, which probably won't be this year, it'll be maybe next year sometime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm looking forward to that. I have no idea where they propose to have the next one, but I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your vacation, and good luck with everything in your business.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Good meeting you too.
Thanks, Micheal. Okay, bye.